Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and welcome to Tuesday. How are you today? Right now it's 50, light fog everywhere, so visibility is a little bit hard to see out there. A lot of stories from overnight that have happened as we start this morning out with already a tragedy as it is underway as we wait to find out more, and we just hope that this is strictly minor. We do not know at this point. But a few moments ago, we got a report, and let's pull this up where you can see this. We're waiting for more details on this as officials are now on the scene out in the Causeyville area, Causeyville-Why Not Road, right here at Highway 19. Just into here, a pedestrian has been struck with a car this morning. We don't know details. You can only assume that someone was out for a walk this morning. With it being foggy, someone didn't see him. That is the scene. Emergency officials are on the scene. As soon as we have more on this, we'll tell you about that. Let's all say a little prayer, and hopefully that this is not as bad as it sounds. We certainly hope so. We hope this is just something minor we do not know yet. As soon as we get details on that, we'll pass that along to you. It is already Tuesday, today marking November the 1st. Can y'all believe this? We're on the countdown toward Thanksgiving. It's right around the corner. And then Christmas. We got a lot to talk about what went on last night. So much to talk about. Lamar says, terrific Tuesday. Let's hope we keep it that way as we begin today. Right now, let's go ahead and let's head out to Collinsville. Let's go to the Baptist Church where Brother Ben has got the day off, and JJ is going to be filling in for him today as he talks about, well, sentimental things. I think we've all got those.
Have you ever had a favorite item of yours? Maybe it was a gun, clothes, a car, or something passed down from generations that held great sentimental value. I once had a pair of flip-flops, and they lasted for 8 years, 8 whole years. I remember walking one day when the strap just happened to snap, and as silly as it sounds, I felt sadness. Just like those flip-flops, all these things of the world will break down and give way over time. The favorite shoes we had break, or the car we love becomes a lemon. None of the things mentioned are bad either. I'm thankful for what I have, and the Lord's blessed me with much more than I could ever imagine. But if these things start to become our treasure, if the things of this world are where we find our rest, peace, and hope, they will fail us. Jesus tells us this much. He says the things of the earth will be destroyed by moth and rust and decay, and they may even be stolen where we can't get them back. So where do we store up our treasure? Jesus tells us to store them up in heaven, looking to our heavenly home and living in a way where our joy is found only in Him. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. May we find our treasure in Him alone, because remember, change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Again, I'm your friend Scotty Ray. If this is your first time to ever watch, welcome. We're starting this morning out at 50 with a light mist fog everywhere. As I mentioned just a moment ago, if you're just now tuning in and hearing what we've got going on, we do have an accident that has occurred in Lauderdale County. As we pull this back up, we go out to Highway 19 South, just onto Causeyville-Why Not Road, just off of Highway 19. There is an accident this morning, and from the text messages that I'm getting is we need serious prayer that this could have become a very, very serious accident. It does involve a car and someone walking. They have been struck by a car, and I'm getting word that we do need serious prayer with the matter. As soon as we get updated on this, we'll pass this along to you. Bad to even have to start a day like this. Fog, all of this plays a big factor into this. So be careful as you're leaving. School buses are going to be out here in just a little while. We don't want anyone hurt. But again, keep those involved in this accident, Highway 19 South area there at Causeyville-Why Not Road, in your prayers as we learn of an accident this morning. Horrible, horrible. I can't, and we will this morning at 8 o'clock, go over every single one of the places where gunshots were heard last night in the area. And it was a bunch. All over Meridian, shots fired. At this point, we have no record of anyone being seriously hurt. Well, actually, no one hurt. No one was struck with gunfire. But it was consistently throughout the town. Now, we'll take a couple look at these. Like I said, we'll go further into detail on this come 8 o'clock this morning. We had shots reported on 38th Avenue. Someone jumped out of a car, out of a white car, if I remember, and randomly shot up in the air. jumped back in, and they sped away. Again, with that one, no one was hurt. Miracles happen every night. We also had reports of gunfire happening on 12th Avenue last night. Again, no one was hit with this. But boy, it sure was a lot of racket with this. And now this is just a minute amount of what I'm talking about now. We've got so many more places that we're going to name during the 8 o'clock show. I hope you'll come back and join us, and we'll go over all of this and show you exactly who, what, and when, and where. Now, I also reported last night of a possible armed robbery. And let's pull this up and let me explain what I've got and why I put that. Here we go. This will be right in front of Northcrest Baptist Church. If you go down the street in front of Northcrest there at the red light, you will come to this store here. It was reported that 3 to 4 individuals were in the store. They did have guns, they did have masks, and they were stealing, which makes it a possible armed robbery. We would find out just a few moments ago as I spoke with the Meridian Police Department. They're going to label this as merely shoplifting. We'll discuss this a little bit more this morning. And I guess I don't, I'm not a lawman or a judge. I had it in my head that regardless of what you've done, if you had a gun that could be seen, it would be considered brandishing. I guess that's a thin line there of how that is determined. But this will go down in the books as a shoplifting event instead of an armed robbery. So I wanted everybody to be clear of what I posted. It was individuals in the store. The clerk did report they had guns, they had masks. I do not think at any point they pulled a gun on them, but it was very visual that they did have guns on them. So that's where that report comes from and why it was worded that way. No one was hurt at the end of the day, thank goodness. Again, if you're sitting at the red light, North Hill Street, if you were going toward Highway 19, you would take a left. That road directly in front of there and go back there. There's several apartments and a little convenience store right there on the corner. That's where all that went down. So, just to keep you up to date with all this. As we move over to Decatur, how many folks we got from Decatur this morning? I'm going to go ahead and say this. Y'all got some booger bears over there. Y'all watched the video? We'll play this again this morning when we go to television as well. But let's look at this. This old boy here. Have y'all seen him? This is Decatur as the game warden shows up. And they go to catch him there. I don't guess I've ever watched one of these that was actually live. But they go up, and he's going to put the loop around him, and he's not going to be real happy about the situation once you get that around his neck. And they haul him away. So if you live in the Decatur area, keep in mind, I call that a gator. I guess there's a difference in between alligators and I'm going to refer to it as a gator. Somebody will call me out in a little bit. But anything that can eat me, that's a gator. Plain and simple. I do have a lot of people that sent me some inboxes about this that, and as bad as you hate to even say this out loud, have had pets in the area that have come up missing and wondered if this might have something to do with that. That's not even a good thought, is it? But they did catch him, and he's been, the Mississippi Department of Wildlife has relocated that fellow there. He won't be bothering you anymore in that area. Don't forget, as we heard from Don and Jill, absentee voting, they're going to be there all day Saturday. As we pull this up for you to see here, you go to Sam Media and read all about this. But as we go down here, the circuit clerk's office will be open this Saturday, November the 5th, from 8 until noon, so if you need to make it there. Office hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then they're going to be there this Saturday, 8 until noon to fit into your schedule. If for whatever reason you can't go vote next Tuesday, make sure to go by and do your absentee voting this week. It'd be a good thing to do that. Good morning, Jerome Lee. Joe Gully is up. Good to see you there. Also, Clarence Westbrook, good morning. A lot of y'all. Gene Byler, how are y'all? Yesterday, and I missed this while we were live on the air, it was sent to me as we go out just on the outskirts of town to Lost Gap there. As an 18-wheeler most likely pulled into the truck stop. What do we find in the road? Well, the load was not secure. What do we have lying here? Well, this tangled, let's blow this up a little bit bigger so you can see this. That tangled mess is 2 light plants. That's what that is, and that's used to light things. They're generators with lights on them. Roll right off the back of an 18-wheeler somewhere. Cleanup soon began after that and got them out of the roadway, but what a mess that was. Whew. an expensive roll-off, we might add. Those are not cheap there. As we look to this weekend, as we got the word from City of Meridian, Railfest is coming this weekend. It's going to be happening at the Railroad Museum located next to the Singing Brakeman Park, downtown Meridian. Hope you can make it out to this event. Admission is free. They do take donation if you can help that. Trains are addictive. I don't know if anybody's ever played with them before, but you get one part, you got to have this, you got to have a town, you got to do this. Hobbies are fun. If you haven't got one, that's a great one to join up with. A lot of people enjoy that so much, building those models, those train tracks. And LaWanda says 7 days is the countdown, 1 week till we go vote. It is from today. I didn't even thought of it that way. Thank you for the update on that. Governor, they're getting ready to have a special session for economic development to the Golden Triangle. Aluminum factories coming in there. More jobs being brought to North Mississippi. Well, we've seen that in the northern part of the state. We've seen that on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We've seen it in Jackson. I think it's time that the Meridian area has a little sunshine. Anybody like that? You know, say about Forest on East Mississippi. We just don't see a lot of those ribbon cuttings for these big plants going in. It's almost like this area has been kind of left out. I'd like to see our East Mississippi Development Association be involved in that. Maybe get some of these jobs. Why are they going to these other parts of the state and not here? I'm sure that there's factors that I don't know. Maybe the whole crime and maybe school systems have something to do with it. But I'd like to know. Wouldn't you? Let's hope we do get some of those. That we have a company that is accused of trying to sell insurance in the state of Mississippi without a license. They have been sent a cease and desist letter from the state. It says you can't do that. I'm sure that they're going to be fined heavily for doing that. It's a company called Salveson Holdings, a parent company of Trotta Assurance Holdings. Can't be selling in the state without a piece of paper there from the insurance commissioner. They tried all. I was looking back over to make sure we hadn't got any more notes of the incident that is out on Highway 19 South. As we'll all look to this weekend, as we lost a legend out of the state of Mississippi. Of course, I'm talking Jerry Lee Lewis. We find out that Jimmy Swaggart will be coming in to officiate the funeral as they lay Jerry Lee to rest this Saturday. A sad day. What a legend he was. Lived here in the great state of Mississippi. As we look around, we do find out sad news. I-55 in Pike County that travels throughout the state. An accident happened. One person died in that wreck. Sure hate that. As we look around, this is big news. Mississippi State is losing their athletic director, John Cohen. Have y'all seen this? He's just packing up his bags and headed right on over to Auburn. I think they relieved somebody of their duty over at Auburn due to the switch. Mississippi State is a job opening for athletics director. See how that turns out for Auburn. I'm sure it's more money is what it all amounts to. Warren County, we go over to the Vicksburg area there. We have 3 people that have been arrested there in connection to, well, child sex crimes. Horrible that these things happen in our state. It does. As much as we don't want it to, it does. We see that a 15-year-old also arrested there in Warren County around the Vicksburg area. What was he doing? Carjacking. What at the age of 15 causes somebody to go out and steal cars and things that are not theirs? Awful, awful, awful. We move to our next headline here. A domestic dispute. Someone was shot. They're upgrading. Harrison County is where we look at this. The person she shot, it was just a domestic dispute. They've passed away. She now has a murder charge up against her. All this happening right here in the state of Mississippi. Woo! Columbus Police Department, also very busy right now as they are investigating a homicide near the park there in Columbus. Someone was killed. Happened on late Sunday evening as near Scott Park, as we find out details on this. Not much more than that right now. No suspects have been mentioned as they investigate this. A homicide, Columbus, Mississippi. As we look around, this is, it's bad, but we have a deputy in the state of Mississippi that has been injured excessively as Walthall County. If y'all remember that name, Walthall County, south of here. We had some bad weather last spring there, some tornadoes that broke out in that area. Sheriff's deputy was responding to a call as she sped away to get to the crime. She was involved in a wreck with an 18-wheeler. She's been rushed to the hospital. She's in serious condition. Alive, but in serious condition. We'd send prayers to that county and to the sheriff's department there and hope a speedy recovery for her. SNAP program, important for those who need it. There hadn't been a person hardly ever that didn't get down on their luck at some point in time. A working man, not somebody that was born into money, but y'all know what I mean. The working class folks, they get up every day and, well, in an instant you can lose your job. We know that. It doesn't take but about 6 weeks if you've got a mortgage, a car payment, and kids for things to go south where you can't start making bills. And SNAP programs, things like this, are set up to help people during their time of needs. Pearl River County, as we go south, right at the end of Mississippi, we got somebody that's been indicted for stealing from the SNAP program, lying about it. $39,000 worth. That's not right at all. We find out just across the Louisiana line, we lose a Mississippian. A 61-year-old man was killed in an 18-wheeler. He was the driver. He was involved with he hit head-on with a Jeep. The Jeep would go this way. His 18-wheeler would go this way and off the roadway. It would burst into flames. He lost his life. We pass condolences to his family. This happened Monday night, late yesterday afternoon, as the fiery crash happened there on Louisiana Highway 25. Claimed the life of LaVon Givens. He was 61 years old of Jace, Mississippi. No word yet. They don't know what caused the wreck to begin with. It could have been a medical condition we don't know that caused him to swerve. He was driving a rig. That happens. We did mention, as I thought, we have it confirmation now from the National Weather Service that there were 5 tornadic activities there in the Mississippi Gulf Coast that happened late Sunday afternoon as we watched that weather. 5 of them confirmed now. No major, thank heavens there was no deaths involved with this. We did have damage throughout the state. We do see that a store is moving from Louisiana toward Mississippi, giving a few jobs there as we go down to, it's a Louisiana-based grocery store. Rouse's. You ever heard of that? That was the first time for me, but it's going to be making its way to the Picayune area. In the end, it will bring about 200 jobs to that area. I'm sure they'll like that. Nice place. I've stopped there and ate several times on the way back home as I was coming here. Y'all ready for football Saturday? Maybe they'll do better than Mississippi State did as Ole Miss will take on Alabama. Hotty toddy, y'all think they'll do better? They are ranked higher, I think, the last I remember there. We wish them luck as they head to it. Maybe you're pulling for Bama. It's always a thin line there, a little bit of both, of the hotty toddies and Alabama. Good luck, roll tide. See who will come out on top on this. I would say the betting side leads toward Alabama. I could be wrong. Hadn't checked with my Las Vegas friends lately. And I do expect this. This is one of the headlines as we start looking at things across America, and expect this. Do not be shocked within 3 months if Trump is not indicted, as we see him have to go back and forth with this January 6th committee as they investigate. They don't like him. Expect there to be an indictment. Odds are betting that once they do this, this will make him bigger than life when they do that. What do they call that word? Martyr, so to speak. We'll watch it carefully and let you know how that comes about. Steve tells us, I didn't realize this, that Ole Miss has only lost 1 game. Penelope, she's all about some roll tide. We'll see what happens this weekend. It ought to be a good game. I have often sat down to watch an Alabama game, and within the first 5 minutes, you know that it's going to be like that. I like a good game where it's back and forth, don't y'all? Usually when you sit down and watch an Alabama game, it's just roll tide and nobody does anything. Hopefully, it'll be a good game with some competition. Those are the best ones, where you get the popcorn, watch, yell at the TV. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's fun. Let's hope. We'll see what happens on Saturday. As we start looking around the nation, they're telling us that nearly 40% of small businesses are running late on their rent. The economy's been kind of tough, and it's been hard for them to make rent the last 30 days. We'll watch that and see what becomes of that. We see that Chicago, as we look at things that happened overnight in Chicago, we hate to even have to tell you these things. Age children, 3, 11, and 13 are among 14 shot during Halloween. Shot. Thank goodness they didn't lose their lives, but they were shot. Children. There is absolutely no need for that to ever happen in America, is it? We'll have more of this developing story of, if you're just tuning in, of the accident that we've had, Highway 19 South, where Causeyville Wyandotte Road meets Highway 19. A pedestrian has been struck. The last that I heard, it was we needed strong prayers for those involved. We hate to have to say that bright and early on a Tuesday morning, but that's where we are at this point. We got your forecast coming up next. Y'all don't rush off. We'll learn a little bit together. That's next here as we begin your day. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
And welcome back. I was getting caught up on messages, making sure we had the absolute latest. We'll have some more information. I'll get in touch with Ward and the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department as we learn more about this accident. Highway 19 is what I was digging into. I'll be in touch with him in just a moment. We'll have the latest with that coming up here in just a few moments. Prayer, prayer, and prayer is what I say. Let's check our forecast now. We'll get into the radar and see what we have going on this morning.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Let's check our record highs and our record lows this morning as we go back to 2016. That was a warm year. As we look at this, it was 89 degrees on this date. Back in 93, we had a low of 25. Another year there, 93 was pretty cool. As we look at today, we're looking for 75 to 76 throughout the Meridian area with some clouds in the area. Finally breaking away for sunshine in the afternoon is what we're predicting as we move to Bama land. 75 there through Demopolis, up through Tuscaloosa. Birmingham, you'll see 73 today. As we move down, we do see that this is a limited threat of fog this morning as we look across at this. This is through the area. Areas of fog could be heavy. Alabama, as we move across that state line, does have a dense fog advisory. Not an advisory for Mississippi, but still the same. We've got areas that, well, it's hard to see this morning as we look at this. We come across and we see the temperatures are warmer than average. We're going to see mid to upper 70s through here. As we look out to the west, we start seeing that cooling section start to make its way toward Texas. It'll eventually make its way back to Mississippi, bringing those temps down. Now, this is our forecast of what we've got. As I said, mid to upper 70s all week long as this warm front comes across. 54 tonight. We'll get a clear sky tomorrow and 78 for a high. And it'll remain that way all the way through next Monday. Almost identical forecast of 77, 78 during the daytime with lows of about 58 to 57 at night. Not much change in that. Let's go ahead and jump another week into November as we go all the way down to mid-month. We start seeing 60s, 67. They're moving in around the 13th or 14th as we get about 2 weeks into November. A little bit cooler weather there. We look forward to that. And then we'll be talking about Thanksgiving, won't we? Turkey Day and all of that. Turkey's getting pardoned. As we look to the National Hurricane Center, what's going on as we pull this up, we have Tropical Storm Lisa. She's set to head in toward South America there as we watch this morning. She has 46-mile-an-hour winds moving west at 14 miles an hour. Now, there's a 70% chance that this second storm system could develop. That's not going to have anything to do with the coastline here in the States. Thank goodness there. But we are watching this towards South America as Lisa makes her way in that direction. What is the fishing forecast? It looks like today our first major time is going to kick off right around 7:30 this morning until 9:30, about a 2-hour window there. You have another chance this afternoon, right at dark. Should be pretty good there to go bob a hook. As we look at this, calm wind today becoming northeast at 5 miles an hour by this afternoon. Not bad at all. Let's pull up radar where we can take a look at this of all the different fog that we've got in the area so you can see here. Let's go here. Almost got it over. Here we are. This is what we're showing on radar this morning. I was going to Meridian Honda radar. Very foggy to our east. Now, we got some low-lying areas here that do have a little bit of fog, but out to our east, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. When you get somewhere around Utah, Alabama, this will get very thick all the way into Tuscaloosa. Y'all be careful on 20 in your directions through there toward Birmingham. And then over here towards Selma, if you're going to be leaving on 80, leaving Demopolis toward Uniontown over to Selma, be careful. Thick, thick, thick. Now, we do have areas of Mississippi up here in the northwest corner, Clarksdale and Mississippi Delta. Look how thick that is up toward Tunica. If you're going to be traveling 61, be careful. You can't see very well. And again, our areas here throughout East Mississippi, even over by Vicksburg, there are some areas that do have some low-lying areas that could get some of this. As we back out, look at this, some rain down here. Victoria, Texas, if you've ever been through there. Galveston getting showers this morning, all south of San Antonio. Florida looks pretty good today. Some areas of fog as we look across the nation. Nothing scary, nothing bad. New York has a few showers off to the coast there. And as we get up into Washington, Portland, Oregon, those areas there, Seattle, a little bit of a shower there. Nothing major as we watch this. Now, we will have storms develop and out to our northwest there across Oklahoma and Dallas from Thursday until Saturday. Could see some tornadic activity there. Right now, Mississippi not projected to get any of these storms. We hope they stay away. We don't want anything bad to happen to anyone else, but we would like it to stay away, wouldn't we? We don't need any damage in our area by any means there. John Mitchell, Alabama is at LSU this weekend. Woohoo! As we'll get ready for that. Let's see here. Good morning, John. Hail State. Did I read my directions wrong? I thought Alabama was going to play Ole Miss. I could be wrong. I could have had my dates mixed up. I'll check on that and make sure I'm right. I was thinking the game was this weekend. But we'll look on that and get that straight. As I said, we'll have more information here in just a few moments as we get the developing story of an accident that has occurred, Lauderdale County, Mississippi, just off Highway 19 South, involving a car and a pedestrian. A pedestrian has been struck. We're understanding that the situation is critical there this morning as first responders are on the scene. We need prayers for that area of our state for all those involved in this. We'll have more developing on this as soon as we can. Be careful. We'll be back in an hour and 2 minutes from now as Candace will join us. We'll see you soon here from the Scotty Ray Report. Be careful. Drive slower this morning as we've got fog throughout the area. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: